Salut à tous, bon après-midi et bonsoir. Je crois qu'il y a le 13e vidéo qui quand je pratique mon français et le question donc le sujet pour aujourd'hui c'est que l'application pour apprendre des langues comme français, l'espagnol, l'anglais, russe, allemand et comme ça. Et d'accord. Et bref, pour moi, si je utilise de l'application pour apprendre des langues quotidiennes, tous les jours, de temps en temps, jamais. Et oui. Et quelle est mon recommandation pour vous et pour des élèves qui voudraient apprendre une langue étrangère comme français? Bien sûr. Oui. Dans ma vie, j'utilise les questions notamment pour apprendre français. De temps en temps, primarily, j'ai oublié comment tu parles en français, comment tu dis en français, Anki, flashcards, et aussi duo cards. Oui, je sais, les noms c'est assez similaire que Duolingo, mais c'est pas vraiment la même chose. En fait, c'est un tout à fait différent plateforme et ça marchait bien en fait. Parce que il y a des exercices et je kiffe ces logo, French expression from Arabic, kiffer. Bref, je kiffe l'application pour lire de l'histoire très petit, comme pendant 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes maximum pour terminer une petite histoire pour moi, si tu veux, dans l'application en fait. Et pour Anki Flash Cars, review et for how to say that in French. Et pour deux cards, je read et si je pas comprendre une phrase ou une mot, j'ai écrit dans ma cahier le mot et traduire et puis j'ai ajouté à ma flashcards anki anki flashcards. Ok. So, bref, ça marchait. Ça marchait pour moi et des autres applications peuvent marcher pour vous. Ok. Duolingo. Ah bon. Pour clarifier, il n'y a pas une rant que Duolingo. Aujourd'hui, I try my best not to, but je n'aime pas trop. Je n'aime pas trop. Pourquoi deux problèmes avec Duolingo et j'ai écrit en mon papier et je vais lire que ça. Si tu... Oh non, pardon. Pas bon pour vous et moi parce que il y a juste de jouer tout simplement like I guess I'll say this in English. You go over the exercises. It's more addictive than it is actually helping you learn stuff, in my opinion. You go over the exercises, you fill in the words, you fill in the blanks, you the bubbles and stuff. Sure, you pronounce a few sentences here or there. At the beginning, they're useful. There's the meme like they help you pronounce sentences that don't even make sense. Like, the elephant ran away from the cat or some nonsense like that. Le n'importe quoi. You would say en français, just des carrément phrase. Une phrase carrément. Subject verb. Bref. Anyway. It's not the best. It is just very addictive. And it can help you build confidence in believing that you can understand and learn a language. It's good for, I guess, learning the basics of vocabulary, some grammar, some vocabulary. Let's see. What else? Sentence structure. There's something else for that. There's another aspect. I'm blanking right now, but... And just building a routine, comme moi, parce que je pratique parle français ou une autre langue tous les jours. Tout à fait. Et je crois, vous besoin pas apprendre langue tous les jours, mais c'est important d'avoir de consistency. That's what Duolingo, and that's what I'm not a French teacher, but a French teacher online, she made like a 20-minute video on why Duolingo doesn't quite work. That's kind of things. Oh yeah, if it's in another language, like let's say Russian or like Hebrew. So if it's a niche language as well, like Hebrew, they have some fake languages like Klingon. I don't believe that's a real language that came from like Star Wars, I think. Obviously Hebrew is a well-known language, but if it's like with special characters and letters that don't exist in English, then I think it's decent for like learning the characters in the alphabet, but only for like complete absolute beginners. So I might use it as a complete absolute beginner for like something like Arabic or something like Japanese. But there's Lingo Deer, different app, that has better reputation for specifically Asian languages. Anyway, the controversy, Simer AI, l'intelligence artificielle. Duolingo is firing a lot of their staff and replacing them with LLMs, language learning models, and AI for a lot of this stuff. So they're going to have a skeleton staff. A lot of the actual humans are now going to be replaced with machines, AI, and they're going to be out of jobs. So on top of me already being disappointed on the fact that I see, the application and the progress that it could make, and just being disappointed that it's not where it could be, they're also, firing people and replacing them with AI. Kind of monopoly, evil, sort of thing, controversial, très controversial. Okay. Bref, suivant. Ok. Si tu aimes Duolingo, je recommande Learn et Fallu. C'est très similaire que Duolingo, mais je crois il y a plus de mieux. Just a little bit better. There's more of a form of like, we're going to teach you a specific topic or give you like a phrase of conversation, like especially the introduction stuff, whether like greetings and stuff. First they give a short conversation, like a 10-20 second conversation. Then you get used to like understanding the words. Then you're actually required to say and pronounce them. I have my issues with the platform as well, with the whole I might talk about it here, I don't know. Maybe in another video, I'm not sure. The pronunciation is a little bit more challenging, as in it won't just automatically mark it correct the way Duolingo has been known to do. So you actually have to have good pronunciation. The only problem is, I know my French is, decent. Like I pronounce words pretty well. There is like one sentence that it just did not, it said wrong 5 times in a row, and I was saying it the way I normally talk French. And I feel like my French is, intermediate level. So it should pass with, 1-2 stars. It was giving me 0 stars. And then because they're using a female voice for the challenge, I decided, you know what? Because I was trying to pass it to get to a certain level, like you can skip through the levels better than you can on Duolingo. That's another thing. So if you're intermediate, you don't have to start at the very beginning with greetings and do it for like 10 or 20 days to then finally get to the intermediate level where you can actually learn stuff. Anyway, in whatever senses it was not working with me saying it with my normal voice. As soon as I put on a voice of like doing my best impression sounding like a French girl from like Paris, it immediately passed me with 3 stars, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm actually pronouncing it right as a male speaker. Like, let's say I had a native French speaker, maybe he had a bit of a dialect, they would just keep marking them wrong, basically. Just because of the accent and the dialect is just not correct for the application, whatever. So that's what I didn't quite like about it. Can't remember if that was Airline or Falu. I think that was Falu. But they actually help you like learning basic conversational phrases and stuff that's actually useful. And you're more likely to remember them than you are Duolingo, in my opinion. Then, en général, les applications que j'utilise toujours ou recommande, not toujours, pas du tout toujours, de temps en temps, plus ou moins. recommande the si t'as l'argent. Okay. If you have money to spend, some money to spend, not a ton of money, but like, you know, $5, $10 per month, or just $10 flat fee, or $50 flat fee for, like, you know, lifetime subscriptions, because a lot of these applications have the free version that kind of work, you know, pas mal, ça marche plus ou moins, both, mais pas parfait. And then the premium version, you get the full access to everything. Same thing with link queue and dual cards, but dual cards is enough that I get to use the application for 30 minutes to an hour each day and just practice reading and understanding more vocabulary, and I get translations right there. It's far better than a lot of applications. I'm not a huge fan of language apps. I think what's more important is just watching YouTube videos to get the immersion, and then also just speaking with people either in person or online and just practicing. And it's going to take a while. It's not like any one app is just going to solve the issue of just you not knowing how to speak a language. Like, there's no app that I can think of, even by like Al Jazeera, that's going to teach me to speak Arabic fluently. Like, I have to just go out and practice and just make mistakes and embarrass myself, basically. Okay. But anyway, Anki, you know, free. I'm just going to briefly go over them. Dual cards, free. What's the plus sign? Oh wait, the plus sign means plus sign I believe means I actually used. Yeah. Okay. So Anki, free, I actually used. Dual cards, free, but you can pay for the premium version and get better access to stuff. Free, I actually used. Rocket Languages, I also used. I feel like that was actually great because I wanted like coffee break. The coffee break languages have stuff where like they give a dialogue back and forth in English, or they're talking in English about how to say a few phrases in X language, like let's say you're a complete beginner, but they don't have it for Russian. I believe they also don't have it for Arabic, but I believe Rocket Languages does. So it's literally the same format, except for I think it's better because they have the vocabulary, like the keywords already built in, and you get to practice actually speaking them with pronunciation and practice like actually having a conversation with the actual teacher, basically. Where yeah, it's pre-recorded, but I love coffee break languages. I have their coffee break, their 50 coffee breaks in French book, and I have and I also I've watched like at least 30 or 40 videos by Coffee Break, so I really like their stuff. They just don't have anything for French. They just don't have anything for Arabic. Not French. They don't have anything for Russian. They don't have anything for Arabic, so that's good. Rocket Languages, highly recommend. I've actually used and I like. I will probably be using it in the future for languages where I'm either absolute beginner or relative beginner in. So like Portuguese, Arabic, Russian, I'll plug in. Seedlang is an app with, if you know Easy Languages or Easy German, that's them. Highly recommend. I've used. Much better than Duolingo. Don't need to say much else. LingoPie, well known. I have not actually used it. I plan on considering using it. Ivoca.io is like specific group that they have all these different apps for each individual language, and I really like them because it basically gives you the YouTube stuff, like whatever YouTube videos you like in whatever language, and it has all the most popular videos in different categories and stuff that are on YouTube, but through the app, so you don't get the distracting ads and stuff or the other distracting videos that have nothing to do with, learning your language. So like if I'm trying to study French while I'm watching a French video, ADHD kicks in. 30 seconds in, 1 minute in, I start scrolling down, and all of a sudden I start clicking on basketball stuff and chess stuff. And then like 10, 15 minutes later, I'm like 5 minutes into the actual French video that I was trying to study, and have watched like 20 minutes worth of random basketball and chess content, That's not, especially if you have a tight schedule. So stuff like that. Basically, I would say it as using YouTube for language learning, but better, because they don't have the distracting ads. From my experience, they don't have the distracting videos that are irrelevant to what you're actually focusing on, which is the language learning aspect. And they also have vocabulary and translations and stuff in consumable size content, because some of the videos, there's not even subtitles on like actual YouTube, but they have them built into that. So ivoca.io, highly recommend. Whatever language, Russian, German, Spanish, English, whatever. Lingoda, Italki, Preply, Baselang, Worlds Across, I will highly recommend and plan/consider using those in the future to book like a language learning session online. They go as low as $5 per month. You've seen the ads, not $5 a month, $5 for a session, or you can even get a free session in some of them. Actually recommend. Speaking practice, especially with a qualified teacher or someone who's experienced in the language, way more beneficial than just using some random language app, in my opinion. Mango Languages, have not tried, but I plan to. I know they have free stuff because they partnered with a whole bunch of library companies, or they partnered with a whole bunch of public libraries, and I believe they have it for the local library that I go to. Definitely plan on using eventually, LingQ I like. Just the whole model of like you only get 20 vocabulary words total without paying for premium is just, a bit ridiculous. It's like you get to test the app out for 1 day or 2 hours, and then you don't actually get to use it to try to unlock new vocabulary words and build your vocabulary words and make flashcards and stuff. So don't like it too much, the free version, but I would actually consider paying for the paid version. I've actually tried and used it, and it seems great. The difference between this one and Duo cards is LingQ, it reads it to you out loud. Duo card, I think it only does that if you pay for the premium version. I'm not sure how that works, but they're similar in that sense. FluentU, I have not used the actual app, but I have watched their videos online, and I feel like they're pretty helpful. A lot of the actual entertaining, immersive content. Some of the stuff familiar with, like Simpsons and SpongeBob. It's nice to just get someone to just, translate and explain it, whatever's going on in Bob l'Éponge, the French version of SpongeBob, to an English speaker in English. I think it's good. Dreaming Spanish, I really like their YouTube channel, and I've listened to a lot of their videos. I've listened to their podcasts. Their speakers speak very smoothly, clearly, but not super slow, and it sounds very authentic. So like if I was planning on speaking with, a bunch of Spanish speakers, mainly like would say not necessarily from the Caribbean, because they don't quite speak that type of Spanish, a little bit different dialect, the more standard-ish Spanish, whatever you want to call it. the easier to understand, I guess. Not saying there's anything wrong with the Dominican or other Caribbean dialects, because I think it's cool, and I'm actually trying to learn the Dominican dialect, but just, if I was planning on speaking with Spanish speakers, that came from Mexico or Ecuador or Argentina, like the girls and the guys in the videos, I would probably plan on listening to like 10 or 20 minutes of whatever podcast or video, and just really just boost my confidence and just get into the flow of understanding and speaking, basically. I don't know how to explain it. Just highly recommend. Have actually watched a lot of their YouTube videos. Babbel, I would consider using, and Pimsleur the same thing, but they cost money. Try for yourself, see if you like them, see if you don't. Michelle Thomas I liked very much, kind of similar to Rocket Languages, Coffee Break Languages, Language Transfer, all those. Just it's an app by a linguist, I believe. Michelle Thomas is a linguist, and the high-speed chase on the highway or something. It's very convenient timing. Anyway, recommend. Univerbal and Lingo Looper are two apps that I've actually used and plan on using in the future for literally just practicing speaking and pronunciation, where they just give you prompts and conversation phrases and stuff, kind of simulating an actual conversation with the native speaker. Utilizing AI, they also give you translations and whatever. They have transcriptions, all the stuff you need to be able to practice conversation of your own home without actually speaking to someone. But you still should speak to someone. It's just, if you can't, or you're intimidated, or you want to warm up with like a non-physical human, I guess, you can use them. I do the same thing with chess. Sometimes when I warm up to play chess, I would warm up playing against the computer. Just, I don't know, you just don't feel the same pressure or whatever. Or you just know what to expect, like always. Because if I know I'm going to, speak French or speak Spanish or speak Russian with someone that day, and I go on to like a Discord server to try to like warm up, I don't know what I'm getting into. It might just be a beginner level conversation, or they might be going into a philosophical conversation or a political debate, and I can barely understand more than a few words of each sentence, basically. So it's not really consistent in that sense. In comparison to warming up speaking or just practicing speaking with AI software and app. It's the Wild West, as one person put it. These speaking servers sometimes. French.tv, 6 p.m. Paris. I'll say it in French as well. 18h en Paris. Okay. I want to try. I've seen the ads. I feel like they would be useful and help me learn the language. To platform, I guess, similar to Netflix. And I think they're both designed for people learning French. I know 6 p.m. in Paris is. It's a subscription model platform, just like Netflix and LingoPie. LingoPie is basically like Netflix, especially if you already have a Netflix account, just more catered to learning new words and having better transcriptions and stuff. Because God knows the transcriptions for 10%, which got taken off, so I had to watch it in German, or I had to watch it with German subtitles, basically, because it got taken out. American content, it's unfortunate. We'll try, maybe in the future. Go ahead and give it a try if you want to. Speaking apps, Lucida, Learn AI, also Speak, and ChatGPT. I've actually used ChatGPT. I like it for speaking. It's not the best app to speak and practice conversation with, but it's decent. I haven't tried the other apps. I have downloaded them and plan on trying them in the future. I know Xiaoma NYC has one that he partnered with. That's an AI speaking tutor app. Give them a try. You know, if you like them, they can work. I would invest more in them, like if they had a stock, or I'd invest more in them in terms of what I would bet would work better for language learning than, let's say, Duolingo. But that doesn't mean I actually know how good they work or whether or not they would work well. What I know does work well is watching appropriate level content in the language you're learning. Sometimes it might literally just be a story made for babies. You know, humble beginnings, we all start somewhere. And going out and speaking with real people and practicing speaking on your own. That's the main piece. That's what all these apps are basically simulating one way or another, or supplementing. Okay. Merci beaucoup et pardonne-moi parce que je sais il y a trop long de vidéos, mais je veux dropper the video into different sections. Getting attacked by flies again. Au revoir. Bonne journée et prends une bonne semaine. Salut.